One of the histories that I loved was the history of Akwamu. Asante history as well. And of course, oh my God, the history. Now the dichotomy is this. He is a chief, a traditional ruler of the United States of Adumasa. My God. He has brought a lot of light to the area, a lot of love to the area. And even if you really did not want to go to the area, you would want to go in there, especially if you lose a visa to the United States of America. You go to the other USA, which is the United States of Adumasa. I was there, and I went to his nice palace. Oh my God, the history is deep. Today we decided to take him out of Akwamu and bring him all the way down to Accra to talk to us about his people. His lineage, his history. It's as simple as that. My brother, my sister, Nana Kwao. Ansah, or better still, Nana Ansah Kwao, the fourth, is in the house. Nana, how are you doing?
I am honored and I am privileged.
Wow.
Honored and privileged, and greetings to all your listeners out there.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I am glad that you were able to make it, and we go straight up. Now, when we talk about the Akwamu people, who are they? Where are they from?
I think we need about a week on Akwamu people.
Wow.
But let's start by saying that the name Akwamu, legend has it that because they were first settled around the Kong Mountains and the Kong River in the Ivory Coast, people said, oh, these are the Kong people, Akwamfo, so that's where it comes from.
Wow.
And then there's another story that says that now because the Akwamus were very fierce in battle, and they literally controlled the southern part of the Gold Coast of Ghana.
That's right.
All the way from Salaga to the sea. Reigned at the height of the empire was from somewhere Winneba all the way to Benin.
Wow.
Yeah, so Ansah Kwao embarked on a major expansionist, territory, and I think that maybe that's also the downfall of Akwamu because the state became just too big. Too big.
Wow.
I mean, you're looking at Winneba to Benin today. That was a really big area. Now, if you were bringing your goods to the coast to come and sell, and you didn't pay your taxes, it was believed the Akwamus will catch you on Akwamu. So there are quite a few stories that come out, to bring the Akwamus, the name Akwamu.
Wow.
But basically the first Akan state.
Wow.
It's basically the first Akan state. And one could say that before the rise of Akwamu, most of the Tripons, the Guans, did not even have chieftaincy institutions. They were ruled by high priests. Communities and towns were ruled by high priests. So it was the Akwamus who brought the culture of having a chief, to form a governance and then govern people. That's how come most of the traditions we know today, the Akwasidai, the Binkumhini, Nifahene, Chidomhene, all those things that affiliated to the Akan governance system today was literally borrowed or learned from the Akwamus.
So Akwamu is older than Asante.
Yes. Akwamu is older than Ashanti. When Akwamu was, Ashanti was then Kwamai. And, they had all the other, Mampong, Suta, all those states were all independent. They hadn't come together yet. Now, since you bring in the issue of Asante, so Obribuahene, who was the Kwamai Hene, now his sister was finding it difficult to give birth.
Yeah, right.
And he had relationship with Akwamu. So he brought his sister to the Akwamu, and the Akwamus have a big deity called Tutuapim. So they came and they did all their rituals and their leaves and everything, and thankfully she bore seed and gave birth to Osei, who was given the name Tutu after Tutuapim.
Oh, wow.
So when Osei grew up to his adolescent age, he was brought back to Akwamu for tutelage.
Wow.
And he stayed, and the Akwamu Hene protected him and gave him all the tutelage of the need for all the governance systems and how it runs. When he was of age and he had to go back, I think when the uncle died and he had to go back, the Akwamu Hene actually gave him 700 bodyguards back then.
Wow.
And gave them one command, that come high, come low, he must get to Kwamai.
Interesting.
Come high, come low. That was the only command. Whatever happens, this boy must reach Kwamai. So these 700 bodyguards protected Osei all through the forest and walked all the way to Kwamai. Now, when he was leaving, Okonfo was then also with the Akwamus.
Mm-hmm.
History has it that they had met before in Dentra.
Right.
Because Okonfo had, traversed the Dentra area, so they knew of each other. And somehow, Ansah Kwao, who was also equally as powerful as Okonfo, so all Okonfo's miracles that he was performing, Ansah Kwao was just rubbishing it.
Oh, rubbishing all those, because he was equally powerful.
He was powerful. So he puts the sword down and nobody can pull it out, and then he'll pull it out, and he commands the rain and he stops it. So Okonfo was also finding it frustrating because he had come with good intention to support him, and he realized that this guy did not need his support. So when Osei Tutu was going back to Kwamai, he said, look, if you don't have any use for him, let me take him. And so he took Okonfo with him to Kwamai. And when they got there, because at the high time, the Dentra people was also bullying the Kwamai people and all the people around this area, he told him that, listen, if you listen to me, unlike your uncle, I'll make you a great king. He had no choice other than to listen. And I think by far, even though, Blakk, we don't honor our heroes, but there is not a governance expert better than Okonfo.
Interesting.
Because the state he formed all the way back in the 1600, 1700 is still solid today.
That's true.
The state he formed still solid today. And look at how the European Union struggled to come together, and they're even still struggling to hold on together. The UK has come out of it, but the Asante are still solid together.
That's true.
From the governance system that Okonfo set up. And so that has been the relationship between the Ashantis and the Akwamus to date. And Otumfuo has a great respect for the Akwamu Hene, because he knows that had it not been the Akwamu Hene, he would not have formed the Ashanti
This
state.
is 3FM.
Was Okonfo Anochi from Akwamu?
No. He was, even though today many towns claim him,
yes,
but I think he's more from Ewukugwa, because with Ewukugwa, there's a shrine for his birthplace. All the other towns just claim him, but Ewukugwa can tell you that, look, this was his birthplace.
That's true.
So I think that storyline is a bit stronger. Yeah, but because he was so powerful, he traveled. Yeah, he traveled around. But one credit we must give to him was his brain for governance. To bring states, powerful individual sovereign states, together, and still stands today. You must give that guy a lot of credit.
The Akwamus are Akans.
Yes.
What is the difference between the Akwamu and the Asante?
Well, they are basically, one would say, two separate clans altogether. The Ashantis. Well, you see, they are the Asante. If you say Asante, somebody will say Asa in Tree means war. So Asante means because of war. Asa inti. War inti. Doko inti. So let us come together because of war, so that the Dentra people can't defeat us, so that all those individual states like the Mampong, the Kwamai, the Insuta, the Kumawu, all came together to form one state.
Wow.
Asa inti. Yeah, so that's it. The Akwamu people came all the way from, the Egypt, Ethiopia, all the way settled in Ivory Coast, and then moved to Chifuhimai. Now, in Chifuhimai, something happened where there was a succession problem. A legend has it that when the chief was going to die, he had two twins, nephews. And apparently he told one group that, look, I want Kakra to succeed me. He told the other group that I want Penyin to succeed me.
Right.
So when he died, the town was split as to, do we get Kakra to the throne or do we get Penyin to the throne? And it was so split that the Queen Mother was on one side, Kingmakers were on one side. So, and you need Queen Mother and Kingmakers on one side to get a candidate.
Right.
So this dispute happened. And it was getting very heated and very intensified. So the Queen Mother and Kakra decided that, as for us, Yedoya mine. So we're not going to stay here for a fight to come and ruin it. We will leave. So the Queen Mother, Kakra, Adonting, and some of the folks left. So they are the domain for Dormaa.
Okay.
People
right.
who, they love their nation. And they also traversed, settled in Kwamai, settled in Tra, settled in Boma, and today they ended up in Dormaa. So the Dormaa Hene and the Akwamu Hene are literally twin brothers. So Penyin is in Akwamu, and Kakra went to Dormaa with his people.
Do they recognize this history?
Kwao Akoto II and Osiadeyo, the Dormaa Hene, the first, because the current one now is the second. So the Akwamu Hene, Kwao Akoto, they signed a pact to realize that, listen, we are one people. So now we can intermarry because of the enmity, they didn't want to have anything to do with each other.
Wow.
But this is 3FM.
They realized that, look, years have gone by. We have now chosen our path. There's no enmity between us.
Right.
So we should come back as brothers. And so I think it was in 1950, I'll get a date for you.
Right.
They signed a pact to say that now they'll share common culture, get married to each other. And so now everything that any major event that we do, the Dormaa plays part of it.
Interesting.
And any major event that Dormaa will do, the Akwamu Hene will go and play a part. And it's so beautiful when the Dormaa Hene comes to state and Akwamu Hene is there. He will ask, do I have permission to greet my big brother?
Wow.
And they'll say yes.
Wow.
And then he'll come shake his big brother and he'll sit. So they'll always sit next to each other. No matter the event, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a derba, if the two of them will attend, they will sit next to each other.
In Dormaa, do they speak Bono?
Yes.
Or they speak Twi?
Well, they speak Bono. Yeah.
How about in Akwamu? What do you speak? Bono or Twi or Akwamu?
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
You know the language spoken in the Akropong area, Mipaucho say you. Okay. So when the Akwamu Hene was settled somewhere in Sewom,
right.
That was his base. So that's why he was controlling all the way down here. He conquered everybody up the hill. And he forced them, because they used to speak the Trepong. You know, the latter people have a different dialect.
Right.
So most people up the hill used to speak that language. And because of security reasons, he didn't want them to be plotting things against him. He forced them to speak his language.
Wow.
Which is Mipaucho say you, Ore Kohin, Ore Bahin. When the whites settled and they were going to write the Bible, they were going to translate the Bible, after so many attempts, they couldn't settle, and they were literally going back because the mosquitoes and the woolomers were not having anything to do with this foreign religion. Now, on their way, they met this guy who asked them, look, have you gone up the hill? And he says, no. I said, those guys, they have calmer temperament than the Gans. So go and try and see. So they went and they met Nana Adudankwa. And they told Adudankwa that, listen, we just want to set up churches and we are not having any luck down the coast, so we came here. And he also said, no, I don't believe in this white religion thing. If you can show me a black person who practices it, I may give it a shot. They went back, brought some West Indies who were all cloaked up, and he says, okay, then we'll give it a shot.
I see.
So they started the Presbyterian missionary. So because they translated the Bible up the hill, they said they had translated it in a Akwamu tree. And because of branding, so that is actually Akwamu tree.
Oh, wow.
But, well, they were not to know. They are settled in Equiapim. They translated it from English to Equiapim and said it's Equiapim tree. So Akwamu Kasa is what is spoken up the hills. So if you hear anybody say Mipaucho, so you if you were here, that dialect is actually the Equiapim language.
Is that the language you speak at Akwamu?
Yes, that's the language you speak.
You also say Mipaucho, see you.
You Mipaucho, you.
This is 3FM.
Nana Ansah Kwao the fourth is my guest, and he's coming all the way from Akwamu, and we are having a beautiful conversation. Now, how did your dialects change from the Asante people?
Well, I think I think it's this. I mean, they speak the same tree, but the Asantes have a different, tongue to theirs. They have a secret tongue to theirs than the Akwamus. But I don't know how it is that everybody speaks differently. But they all speak the same Akan, but it kind of changes. I mean, even if you go to Fanti, yeah, it's very different, but you can pick out exactly what they are saying.
Now, at the time you conquered the whole of this area, stretching all the way to Benin and those areas, and your history is so deep. Are you disappointed that you are not as big as you used to be? Or are you still big?
Well, I think, historically big, but physically no. But historically, because you see, most great empires today cannot tell their story without some alienation with Akwamu, either through conquest or either through friendship or something like that. Now, let me tell you one beautiful story about the Akwamu, and this is 1693. Akwamu Hini had conquered whole of the southern territory.
That's right.
But didn't have access to the Osu Castle, and that was the center of trade. That's where all the ammunitions will come. That's where all the gold will depart, salt, everything. But he had no, control over it. So he sent his nephew Asemeni.
Asemeni, yes. Yes,
he says, look, you're going to this house.
Oh, this was Nana Ansah Kwao the third. Interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is 3FM.
So Asemeni went to the castle as a butler, and he worked quietly, learned the language of the Danes, won the heart of the Danes. And one day he came and said, look, I got farmers and they have elephants eating their yams and their corn. And so they want guns so that they can shoot these elephants when they come. So he brought 80 warriors disguised as farmers. And he selected the ammunitions, the big rifle, the AK-47s then. And he says, but you have to teach them how to shoot it. I mean, what are they going to do with these guns if they don't know how to shoot? They took them to the shooting range, gave them ammunition, taught them how to shoot, how to reload as fast as possible. And as soon as they got the theory 101 on the guns, they turned the guns on the Danes and said, that's it. This is a hijack.
What? And took over the whole area.
Took over the whole area. So now,
this is 3FM.
the Akwamu Hini had everywhere in the Southern Territory was under his reign. So for 14 months, Asemeni was literally governor, Asemeni.
Wow.
And the Danes came and the foreign entities came to him on a peaceful path that, look, please, whatever you want, but we must have control of this fort. So he gave them that they were not supposed to sell arms to his enemies. He was supposed to get fair selection of the arms.
Yes.
And the third one will interest you, that they were not supposed to mingle with the women because he did not want any mixed race children.
This is 3FM.
Because he didn't want that one day when he's looking for a successor, it will be a white man.
A white man, that's right.
So he didn't want. And then finally, he said that he was taking all the keys of the Christian bag, every single key. And they said, why? And he says, one day, when he tells this story, he will have nothing to prove that he occupied this house. They thought it was a joke, and he took all the keys. So back then, it was literally like a war trophy that, listen, I have conquered. But today, it's, it's a beautiful insignia on the Akwamu throne, and it's there today.
And there's a statue right at Akwamu
at Timpoku,
before that bridge of Asemeni standing there with the keys.
Standing on the cannon with the key. Now the story of the cannon again was that now when the Danes were running the castle, anytime they fired the cannon, it means they sense danger. But Akwamuns are very trigger happy. He wakes up in the morning and just fires his bam, bam, bam. People can say, oh, they're happy.
This is 3FM.
sorry.
Oh my God.
So the keys are there. And so the Queen of Denmark actually traveled. He came with his historians and blacksmiths to come and test to make sure if they were the original. And they checked it and it was the original. So when the news reached her that it was the original, she traveled to Akwamu to come and see. She says before she died, she wanted to see the keys. And I mean, it tells you how deep our forebears thought.
Yes.
Because I mean, without this proof, it would have just been another hearsay. It would have just been a hearsay.
Have you seen the keys yourself?
Oh yes. I mean, it's there for anybody to see now. I mean, if you book an appointment to go to the museum where they have the 400-year-old cloth.
Wow.
Yes, 400-year-old cloth. Again, so if you book an appointment, so if you're a group or anything, you contact them and you book an appointment, you can go and have a look at the keys for yourself. All big bunch of keys that was taken from the Christian Blakk Castle, Osu Castle.
How do you see Ntim Jacare? Do you see him as a hero? He was one of your kings. From his history, do you see him as one of your heroes or a villain?
You see, I'm somebody who don't want to judge.
This is 3FM.
I am very soft on history. You see, because it's so easy. Let me just give you one example. Like, there are palaces where they said, albinos are not allowed to go into this palace. And so today you sit down and you say, they are a cake. I mean, what was that? And what is this? What is that? But if you fast forward it today, and they say somebody has Ebola and is coming to a palace, we would react the same way they reacted then. But one day, Ebola would get a vaccine, like HIV now. I mean, let me use even HIV.
Yes.
Once upon a time, if somebody said HIV, it was scatter.
Yes.
Today, if somebody said they have HIV, I mean, the next thing somebody says, and so what?
Yeah.
And so what?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So I always try to look at it, 400-600 years ago, everybody in the village is black. And then all of a sudden, a baby pops out with pigment problems and it's fair. Nobody knows
3FM.
whether it's contagious. Nobody knows whether it's spiritual, whatever it is, all these connotations. Now, back then, the king was the general.
Yes.
And if you have studied the history of kings, every king has got some mythical story about him.
Yes, that's true.
This is to put fear in the enemy so that they don't attack you.
That's true.
So you protect the king. But today, with the benefit of science, with the benefit of knowledge,
Ntim Jacare was a man who liked women so much. He put so much pressure on the Asante people. Even Ansah Kwao the first, who was trained and mentored by the Akwamu. In fact, he had his own people come all the way from Asante to attack Akwamu, and it was during the reign of Ntim Jacare that Akwamu fell. From that time till now, it's never been able to rise again. Would you blame Ntim Jacare, or you still see him as a hero in Akwamu?
You see, it got to a point where the Akwamu reign was very harsh.
Yes.
The Akwamu reign was really, really harsh.
This is 3FM.
The reason why all the Guans up the hill came together and went to seek the help of the Ochinhene, who sought the help of the Danes and the British. So there were like 7 armies that came together.
Right.
The war never happened. He just decided not to retreat. And that's where he settled today. So you see, it becomes unfair to say to one person, you are right or you are wrong. And then you look at the Akwamus and think, okay, why was the reign so brutal? Well, with such a wide range, expansionist state, if you don't put fear at the center, how is it going to hold? So, I really don't like judging history that badly if you were not there.
Yes.
Because I say the Akwamu's reign were harsh, but then the empire was too big.
Yes.
If you don't put fear, how are you going to hold it together?
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
And then you get the others who are also saying, look, we are being oppressed too much. We also want to break free.
Yes. Apart from the mighty Akwamu people, I mean, expanding all the way down to Benin and those areas, they were also outside Ghana. In fact, today's Ghana, they were in, some Caribbean countries like St. John and the rest of those areas. Do you have any links to the people? From Akwamu Fie, do you recognize them and do you have a certain kind of link with them?
Yes, but maybe not as strong as it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yes, but not as strong as it's supposed to be. Let me tell you what, the Akwamu Hine sent his son to be taken to England to go and study, so that when he comes, he can actually be a good mediator between him and the foreign partners here. Now, when they were offloading the slaves in Barbados, they mistakenly added him.
Oh, wow.
So he waited and waited, and he wasn't hearing from his son. And then when he got wind that when they were disembarking the slaves, they may have accidentally added him, he put a trade embargo.
Right.
I mean, they were great Ghanaians. He put a trade embargo.
Wow.
That if you don't bring my son, nobody's going to trade. And he gave them a certain amount of time that if I don't find my son, no white man will be alive here.
Wow.
They went back to Barbados, found him, paid, bought him back, and sent him to the UK. But by the time he had finished education, his father has passed and he never came back. I mean, so that's how great and powerful these guys were.
Yeah.
Today, we can't even stop Ubruni Wewu.
What?
He put a trade embargo.
What? This is huge.
Yeah, put a trade embargo. No salt, no gold, no slaves. Go and find me my son.
What?
And they knew what he could do. I mean, you read about history and why they weren't able to defeat him then. Blakk Rasta, when this guy was going to war, he had scouters. Before he had Trafu, before he had Adonting.
Right.
Literally 3 armies ahead of him. He fought in the middle of Jassy, so he had all his bodyguards in Jassy. His left wing was covered. He had the left division, Benkum, he had Nifa, before he had Chidom.
Interesting.
And so you go in the community and see the Odi and Nimusu Akoto. The Odi actually Akoto. And so Akoto Ababitram. He was literally that elusive.
Okay, interesting.
That elusive on the back.
Now you have a queen mother right there in Akwamu who is one of the oldest in the whole of the Republic, Nana Frakuma II. Her son is the king of Akwamu right now. True?
Yes, very true.
She's on the line. We're going to have a conversation. Nana, what is saying? Hello, Nana. Hello. All right, looks like we lost Nana. We're going to get Nana back on the line and we're going to speak with her for about a minute. In the interim, we still have Nana Ansah Kwao. Do we have Nana on the line? All right, okay. So we're having a beautiful conversation. I'm reading something here that says that you had a capital at Nyanwasi. Where is that? Is it still existent? Is it still called Nyanwasi or is it changed?
No, it's changed now. I think it's, it's changed.
Okay, I think we have Nana on the line. Nana Ejmat is saying. Hello, Nana. Hello.
Baba.
Ejmat is saying.
Nyamia drum.
Yeda nyamia se. Nana, you see, only one of the oldest reigning queen mothers, the whole Ghana. Time ben na yesi wo ohima.
Pacho, taba yesi mi ati ni himia 1964.
Wow.
Na wesi mi Akwamu hima.
Enti uba na ye Akwamu hini sesia.
Pacho ai.
Wow. Now when him say uba ebe ye Akwamu hini ana.
Oh, so you this year there. Ya wono no. Me bra to ano so a. Na nim so be di hini. Na ye say yeah, nim so you this year you be me di hini.
Now, Akwamu, as of now, no, unhun is saying, as in 1964, so that time, no, and then, what is the difference? Difference there,
oh, you, that's it. Me say, Tama, who can neno, and so say, oh, Mukakra. Zebra me di in 1964, I'm making. I'm here 18 years. mfie du nwotwe.
Wow.
The talk Kwame Nkrumah. Ebi akoso moda manu.
Wow.
Ansah na otu kwan koya wa mebi.
Wow.
Ipini na chi no. Aban bia de bia. Ami ya Akwamu hima.
Oh.
Ushe sata mena. Nso ye omu kakra.
Na uche Akwamufo omu ya Asantefo ana na se omu mufri mu ye nipa ben.
Ya kaifo.
Mu nya Asantefo.
Debi nya Asantefo. Ya kaifo ayede ye hu. Ya Akwamu empire.
Na mufri Akwamufo free.
Akwamu kofi. Actually, na ya si wo fi kon. Ba ya tina ko bebre so. Ansah ya be sete wa Akwamu ha.
Wow. And from 1964, we are 18 years. I see himano. And that's about 60 years of being a queen mother. Anna. Who was 78 years.
Pepe.
Oh, why are dear papa? Why are dear papa? Why are dear papa? Now, Ubani hini, oya dear nasa onya dear.
What was the wine?
Uba na Akwamu hini, oya dear when he saw anasa when you saw.
Oya dear papa. Oh, star body whom what day?
Dear Ben, why am I feeling good about him?
Now I very good at him, me say. Or Dominipa.
Wow.
Or Botre.
Wow.
Man him for. The other Akwamu they'll be to me now in a crocono dorsal. Or Botre. Nothing so buy and so. See education was film.
Wow.
Now maybe Ansana or man be no use education. She or then a man for she yeah, or then a home education fund.
Wow.
And they go to Gina Hua. Or buy and Kwarabe Bray after.
Wow.
Be at the university. Be police, BSA. Then this are the one idea, and the point to Edman Kwana.
Oh, wow. Me da se pa. Na, Akwamu for the tete no, na mu penta kwa pa na. Mi hu se asu mu kuka kakra, mu tribal wars be around and I say bibia ye boko.
Maybe then Tokwana ne penya si penta kwa na ne mpesi sie. Bisa ne de ya wonti ne peso bia besisi akaya hye.
Aha.
Ne si penta kwa.
Wow.
And the idea the nyansem ama obi atimi ankonso ani so be bia ye kwa bia edikiti wo ne de bedu ha.
Wow.
It's kwa de ye mpe na emom ye mpe sisi.
Oh, Akwamu Empire.
Yeah.
Hey, auntie, maybe so last question.
Yeah.
Usha say ubedi or him for how many more years?
Oh, I man dey say me di na emom me nkwa de wo nyame nsam.
Wow. And to who Usha?
Me say me jaji say da nyame be frem.
Auntie, time ben anka upe se bi onyame frɛ.
Oh, what did they mean to me?
Sa.
And I mean kwa one in some. And I say see us off frame and so you frame.
Okay. Ima nana ima ya dase pa se in fact yes celebrate too so why are dear I mean 60 years on the throne dear enya grokra na nana Ansah Kwao ha ebia opese obisa as asemba could be my main fan to ahoma no so
you
Mamini asemia Mr. Nyamishra ma. Mr. Nyamishra. Yes ma. Mr. Nyamishra ne mama.
You. Na Ansah Kwao.
Yes ma.
Pacha, what to say?
Nami Aduma me hoye.
You.
Me hoye.
Now the Pacha, oh, I'm not paying dinner them.
Yes, ma.
Say I'm bobbing a moye.
Ojuma na na egusi e wa he me we peme de program ni nyina ba batu jase.
Odi boy juma pa nyagro. Enti ubeti ninka. Enche bia. Nana ya das. Yes. Yes.
Last time ka club person me can first be you say.
Good.
Me be di him ache. You best fre. Me dey papi di so. Him for near him our phone. One tune and in one shay. Na first and baby him I said we bini na opim ko anima. Unya humuaye. Me kai bra Kwame Nkrumah. Ba ko sumu.
Wow.
Na minister me be di fufu na na de track ti di akira ye ko ya me na kos atimpoku kwan so mo ho no ya salam abodam fo na e wo ho ti e ko na no ma hene se na me bokwa me buga na si na papa ye so ya de ya ka na se ba na ya chiwi no sreye ye ko ya pe no ka tell no say Kwame, winnie bibi, me bada padam for no fro. Enti you won't feel quiet who ha, na ha be a tourist in the ne pay. Ipa be bana abadam for the Namokwa ho sa. O si dema. Papa ko dri ade achi ya no mo be yi abadam for nyina fi ha.
Wow.
And then a holiday and this is assembly.
Wow.
O yi ya pe na o hene se me di ho be ye school. Eni Akwamu secondary school.
Now, President sir, Omubaye no fiti Kwame Nkrumah all the way down to Atamils. Ma who say uni Atamils crash da abon komo pa rolling so uni na share. Usha wan pa na obwa Akwamu man presidency nyina. Ano mu biara nya hwe ema Akwamu.
Oh, me tibi nka sa nya hwe ti say ye wura no mo bi obaba ye wura. Tini abe ya be so ye ni no.
Na why na ya dear pa ma Akwamu man.
Wenyina
Odi mami konso him ma. Odi konso him. Omrefi na beka chire.
Ya dam mo ye bibi anka ka na afi ye ho. E ko ba bia. Enso egusu gira ne ye gina.
Medase pa. Nanahima, we are so excited that we're able to speak with this great woman. Oh, 60 years on the throne. Nana Afrakuma II. Oh, why are dear Yamin Shrao? Yeah, that's it. Oh my God.
Yamin Shrao.
Medase pa.
Mama man for Atiminka. Yamin Shrao.
Amen. And whoso fe papa. Okay, thank you so much. Oh my God.
Very powerful woman.
Very powerful woman.
You know, with the Akans, we operate with the alpha female. We don't have the alpha male system.
Wow.
Yeah, we operate with the alpha female system. And she's a proper alpha female.
Yes, I can feel that.
When she says stop, Blakk Rasta, you stop.
You must.
Just say you stop. Whether must, shoot, whatever it is. When she says stop.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, Akwamu people, what's your favorite food? Asante will say fufu and something else. How about you? Is it the same fufu?
Well, Kokonte, I think we are very, very Kokonte inclined.
Oh wow.
we are very Kokonte inclined. But once I'm here, let me put Afrakuma's event on air before
Please do.
I get summoned.
Please.
So yesterday she gave her stools, did a ritual for her stools. I was yesterday. Today she's receiving gifts from dignitaries and stuff like that. Saturday, tomorrow, she's going to do the Eduane Kese. So she's Kwansen Kese. She just cooks, and everybody is invited to come and break bread with her.
Wow! Is it going to be kokonte?
There's going to be everything. There's going to be oto. There's going to be everything. There's going to be everything. So tomorrow at Akwamu Fie, it's going to be really, really, really exciting. Go there, have a feel of culture. That's one thing that you won't miss when you come into Akwamu. It's unadulterated culture. Oh yes, unadulterated culture. Yes. And then from the 1st to the 9th of September, interdivisional ayeye. So basically, all the divisions will also go and pay homage to her, with gifts and respect and honor. And the Grand Deba, which is on the 14th of September, that you shouldn't miss that one. That's major. That's absolute major. Every chief that's got history attached to their stool will be present.
Wow.
Yes, and that will be her, the Grand Deba, obviously followed by the street jams, followed by Thanksgiving service and everything. But the 14th September is the Grand Deba, which I invite all of you to, include you.
Oh yes. I mean, I love Akwamu.
And Akwamu Personally says that he's expecting you.
I will be there. I spoke to him
earlier. I said, catch a black semi-trainer.
It's an honor.
This is 3FM.
Nana Ansah Kwao, the 4th. Oh my God. Now let me ask you. Are you qualified to be a Kwamuhini one day?
No, not at all. I'm the Adumasa lineage, and I stay in Adumasa. I don't have any bloodline to the Paramount stew. Even though we are also Aduana, and so it gives us special relationships to the stew. Because back then, when the clans meant something, if somebody was Asona, somebody was Aduana, and because we were Aduana, and where we are placed within the Akwamu Hine had special relationships with us as in Inuane, and we also protected him. So it gave us that special bond which still stands to today. So Adumasa and Akwamu Fie have this,
powerful link.
Yeah, very powerful link. Yeah.
Wow. I'm happy to be educated every day. In fact, I get educated every day. You are never too old to learn. That is what I'm sending out to you. No matter how much history you know, there is some history that is still to be taught you. I have learned a lot about Akwamu today, and I'm most grateful to you, Nana Ansah Kwao. I visited you in your palace, and I'm going to be visiting you again. And thank you so much for putting Akwamu out there. With the rest of your, kings and chiefs. We want to say thank you so much. We appreciate you. If there's any other thing you want to add, please add, and let's fly.
Well, we are very grateful on behalf of all Akwamu Mind to give us this big platform to share our history. That's one way to get people to love you, is just share your history, because what you don't know, you don't love. So I think on behalf of Adenho Kwafakutu the second, Nana Frakoma the third, and Nana Frakoma the second, I say a big thank you to you and your media for giving us this platform.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thanks so much, Nana, for talking to us. It's been the African History class.